I watched this earlier. I just thought it was pretty cool, and so I just want to watch it with you guys. Let's go.
And thank you for staying up late with us for another edition of The Factor Uncensored. Good to see you all tonight, and we have some great guests and great topics. We begin tonight with a discussion that's been making waves, how some Latinos support President-elect Donald Trump. As we've reported, Trump has proposed mass deportations for illegal immigrants, saying you don't have to go home, but you have to get your ass the hell out of here, meaning the USA. He says no anchor babies. Just because you were born here from illegal immigrants don't mean you stay here. His words. And here's a quick snapshot of voter turnout for the 2024 election. About 73 million Americans voted for Trump, including 45% of Latino voters. Tonight, we revisit this topic about the reasoning behind the support, a topic we began Monday. Let's jump back into the conversation. Joining us on The Factor Uncensored tonight to talk about this, Executive Director Phil Houston, Cesar Espinoza, supporters of President-elect Donald Trump, Christina Rodriguez and Georgia Brago, along with Texas State Representative Jolanda Jones, who wouldn't ask Trump for a drop of water if her damn head was on fire. Burn, baby, burn.
This is true.
So you saw the earlier interview, and so
I
you're
did.
joining us now. Your thoughts about Latinos supporting.
So Trump derangement syndrome is real. Like, people's hate and love for Trump is just amazing. How much they just overly care about this man. But he is the president, and he does make big moves. So, I mean, I guess I can understand a bit, but let's go.
President-elect Donald Trump.
So sadly, I say I don't understand, but self-hate is real. And all I know is this. They say they did it for the economy and jobs. They ain't gonna be here for a good economy if there is one, and there ain't gonna be no jobs. They're gonna get deported. They're trying to uncitizen people. There will be no anchor babies. And they said, you know what? We ain't got to separate your families. You know what we're going to do? We'll just take all of y'all. Mm-hmm. So I think they signed up for a bill of goods, and Trump is showing exactly who he is now. And I feel really badly for Latinos. However, they chose Trump overwhelmingly. So
and let's just go over this really.
I wouldn't say they chose Trump overwhelmingly, because you just saw the stat that they voted for him 45%. So they chose Kamala or other than Trump at 55%. So that's not an overwhelming choice.
Right. Those who may not be in the country illegally, they didn't vote for Trump.
Right. Well,
at least we don't think so, because they're not allowed by law. But you're saying those who are here legally who...
Actually, I'll get to another story where a guy's been here illegally, undocumented for 30 years, and he voted. He thought he was a legal person, and he got a driver's license and a social security card, but then when he went for his retirement, they said that he was undocumented and couldn't get his retirement. See, they'll take your money, but they won't give it back.
Who may have family members that still may be illegal.
Right, but so first of all, I don't believe there's an illegal person, right? So you might be here undocumented, right? As you know,
but you still can't vote.
Right, no, you cannot vote.
Right,
so there are no undocumented people voting for Trump. They didn't vote for Trump, right? The families did. But it's really interesting as I've listened to Latinos speak about it, and I have Latinos in my family. My son is half Latino. My ex-husband is Colombian. And my granddaughter is half Indian. Her mother's from India. Her family's from India. And as I listen, it's just really interesting to me that it's like they played their little white card on election day, and they're about to find out they're people of color.
All right, George, let's bring you into this conversation, hearing what Jolanda has to say. Your thoughts about that?
So I think the key word here is illegal, right? We're Americans. Latinos are Americans. We're not illegal. We voted for who we think would represent our best interests. We want safety. Latinos come here for the American dream.
A big thing with that is, yes, you are American, but you can't tell by looking at you if you're illegal or born here. So when they do these deportation squads or whatever they call it, they look at you first, and then they're going to come up to you for your papers. What if you just got mugged or something and you don't even have your wallet on you, or you just forgot your wallet, or you're just on a walk, or just, whatever, you just don't now you have to carry your papers all the time? Is that what we want? But I mean, let's see.
American dream is disappearing. the past few years have been tough for our people, not just for Latinos, for everyone. We come here for the American dream. We want safety for our children. We want better futures for our family. We want education, and we see that dwindling away. Mm-hmm. So we voted for who we think is in our best interest. That would be Donald Trump. Latinos don't identify with Kamala Harris. You know, she's out there pandering and this and that. We're not with that. We're way past that. It just, you know, Donald Trump, he's a billionaire businessman, yet he's out there speaking like just a common folk, you know. It's just who we identify with.
It is funny that the billionaire businessman who's filed bankruptcy 6 times got $400 million from his father, and his father actually got money from his father. They're 2-3 generations rich, right? And he was able to connect with the regular man, the regular person, more than Kamala Harris, or anybody in the Democratic Party. That is amazing to me how he could pull that off.
And yeah, the bottom line is one of the biggest reasons was obviously economical reasons. We voted because of our pockets.
All right, Sister, let's hear from you. When you hear, and if you were here for this conversation Monday, you like, what the hell is going on? And so your thoughts now.
You know, I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, and we were talking about the fact that some people, when they become either U.S. citizens or they've been here maybe a generation or two, they seem to
Super American.
They seem to get amnesia of where they came from, where their roots came from, and it seems like, and I've been talking to a lot of people in the last couple of days, and they're saying, you know, if we went through it, you have to go through it. Like, what happened to humanity? Where just because I went through something, you don't have to go through it. And the other thing is, you know, being a black man or black woman was illegal in this country at one point. So, and at times, being a white person was illegal in this country. When the Native Americans didn't invite pilgrims to come in and say, hey, give us smallpox, kill us, put us in reservations. No, they came, they conquered this country, they colonialized this country, and they fed and they embedded the colonialism mentality into our people, and we still can't get over that. We still can't be proud of ourselves and speak our language and be proud of the fact that we're Latino, and now we have to play the white card and say, oh, I'm one of y'all. Hey, don't come ask me for my papers, because now I'm one of you. And that's sad to hear.
Christina, your thoughts about this?
I'm a proud Mexican-American Chicana, and I know that there's many others who feel the same way that I do. I really feel like that we voted for President Trump because he really does stand for certain culture identities of outside of like just the color of our race, but also our morals, our values. And I really feel like that President Trump was the best selection for us to vote for, and that's why we actually voted for him.
Let's support Trump. He's a real criminal. 32 convictions.
I mean,
he's saying he's 34.
Kamala.
I would like to know her morals and values that she's speaking of. It's like when people just say broad statements like that, I would like more details normally.
Harris is dumber than a box of rocks. She didn't have no policy. She didn't even have a plan. She didn't have anything.
You clearly haven't sat for a bar, because if you sat for a bar,
just because you have a title doesn't mean that you're smart. I know people who go to Harvard University.
Let me be clear. I went to high school. I graduated from college. 4 years of that.
Your title doesn't make you anything.
I didn't say it. But you know what? The people elected me. The people elected me, and I am the state representative for House District 147. But it's just like women to put women down and to call them dumb. So what is she? I mean, she ain't got no degree. Is she dumb?
Well, I mean, everyone calls everyone dumb. I kind of don't like it when they're like, oh, well, women did this or certain people did that. Like, if a man called Kamala Harris dumb, they'd be mad. If a woman calls Kamala Harris dumb, they'd be mad. But they called Trump dumb and stupid and all this stuff. So, and it doesn't matter if it's a man or woman that calls Trump dumb and stupid or whatnot. So, I mean, if it's fair game, it should be fair game.
I can literally, by the way, and I'm not dumb. And I do know that there's no policy.
What does your decree mean? But anyway, the point is, self-hate is real.
I love myself, and I'm Mexican-American,
and I pray for Latinos in this country, because they're going to get deported, and their families.
Okay, Christina, wrap it up.
Yeah.
Since you started it. No. Wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm just, saying, like, we needed policy, we needed a plan. All she ever talked about was LGBTQ and abortion rights.
We'll continue in just a second. All right. We'll let you finish. Christina and Yolanda.
And
On the
she didn't
Christina and
just-
Yolanda show.
She didn't just talk about LGBT rights.
We'll be back after this. Stay with us here on The Factor
Yeah, see, it was
Uncensored.
more
We have much more
Republicans.
coming your way.
We will begin the law.
You get, when people talk about it like that, it's more the Republicans saying, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. Like, she didn't talk about it a whole bunch. She was asked about it a couple times, but it's not like it was a big thing that she was trying to talk about and push.
Largest deportation operation in American history.
Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. President-elect Trump there speaking on one of his campaign promises to begin mass deportations, which include DACA recipients, also known as Dreamers. Republicans are inching closer to control of Congress, which would make it pass their agenda for at least the next 2 years of Trump's second presidency. Our guests are back. Executive Director of Field Houston, Cesar Espinosa, supporters of President-elect Donald Trump, Cristina Rodriguez and George Abrego, along with Texas State Representative Yolanda Jones. So we want to welcome you all back here on The Factor Uncensored. And when we hear, and I saw and viewed and also listened to an NPR video where they said they interviewed those who came from other countries in America, and they said they become super Americans, more Americans than the average American because they want to fit in, meaning Latinos, those who came from other countries. And so do you think that could be part of the problem? And I'm not saying problem.
So they don't, I don't know if they call it super Americans here, but my girlfriend is Samoan, and she talks about how some Samoan people didn't teach their kids how to speak Samoan because they want them to integrate or whatnot. And then, like a generation or two later, the kids can't speak Samoan, and they want to speak Samoan when they get older, and they feel kind of left out of the culture a bit. And then a lot of the parents or grandparents are kind of feeling like they kind of messed up a little bit, not teaching their kids the culture. And I live in Hawaii, so there's a lot of different cultures here, and a lot of people came from different places to come here. And a lot of them do that. They'll give their children names like Bob or Susie or whatnot, and not teach them their foreign language or their home language, whatever you call it, and only let them learn English. So we'll see what they say from this side.
Part of what you're trying to figure out as an individual who's confused why they would vote for Trump.
No, so I understand that. I went to high school. One of my best friends was Mexican American. Her parents immigrated over here, and she and her sisters were born here. And her parents literally didn't teach them Spanish because they wanted for them to assimilate. They had concerns that they would be discriminated against. And hell, I speak Spanish better than her. Hablo español, aprendí en las escuelas, right? So I can speak Spanish. I choose to, and I think that people should be proud of their culture. But there are people in this country who don't like Latinos, and they speak horribly of them, and so they're trying to be more American than them. And it just makes me sad because I think that you can't be great at who you are unless you know from where you come. And also, if you take a grandmother and you take them away from their family, I mean, that's just not right to break up families. And it's not children's faults whose parents have them here. They didn't ask to be born in the States, and they are citizens, and it's not their fault. So to uncitizen people is a problem as well. And I don't think it's well thought out, and I think that people are believing that they're gonna keep families together and they're only gonna get the criminals.
All right.
But they literally have deported US citizens.
Okay, George, let's bring you into this. The theory of super Americans being more American than American because the roots may be from somewhere else. And also your thoughts on separating families.
You know, the super American theory, though I've heard of that before, whether it exists or not, I'm sure it exists. I've never experienced that personally with anyone that I know. I'm sure it exists and it's out there. But, you know, the thing is, we're Americans, whether I'm Latino, African American, Asian American, whatever, we're Americans. That's it. I just see myself as an American. I will never forget my background, where I came from. You know, my parents came here, my grandparents came here with nothing on their back. They came for that American dream. They busted their butts to work and to give me and my brother everything that we have and to bring us up. Nothing was handed to them. And now these days you have illegal immigrants coming over, getting free Visa cards, free cell phones, free vouchers for this and that, free food. What sense does that make? It makes no sense at all, to where my parents and grandparents came over here, had to literally bust their butt to get what they got.
All right, Cesar, let's hear from you.
I mean, is because of immigration policies that your grandparents and your ancestors were able to come here, were able to establish themselves and
there's a
provide
right
you
way to do
with
it.
a better life. What is the right way to do it? I waited for 33
Not
years
illegally.
to get to where I am today. And I barely became a green card holder. Now because of that, I'm going to change my name to Charles and start forgetting my Spanish. Like, we have to be proud of who we are, and we have to stand up for one another, because I guarantee you that when they come for one of us, they're going to come for all of us, and they're not going to care whether you're third, fourth generation. They're going to come after you. They're going to question you. If you walk into a store and with a Caucasian, they're going to look at you different, and we can't. America is not a post-racial America. We are still a very segregated nation based on slavery. I mean, can we just have a show on this?
Man, we are a segregated nation still, and I really wish we weren't. Like, when I was growing up, they taught us that we were a melting pot, and I thought that we were all just supposed to intermingle, and that eventually we would all be one race, and I thought that was cool, right? And then as I got older, the kids told me that they were teaching in school that we're a quilt, that we're more like patches, and we're, this patch here, this patch here, this patch here, like a quilt, right? And it made me sad. I'm like, why? Or if we're one country, if we're all Americans, shouldn't we really just all be together and not care what one looks like, and just eventually we should almost all look like one person, not one person, but similar.
I think we need to have a series on this.
I don't live in that snowflake mentality of victim. I'm a victim. I'm a victimhood. We're past that.
There's no.
No,
snowflake
we are past
mentality.
that. We're way past that,
You
because
live in
you
a-
just got your green card.
You live in a-
just
in
got
a-
your
I
immigration
just
status.
got my
So
my
right
green
now
card
in this
in May.
time, while all of this nonsense is going on about Latinos, the immigration lawyers are about to ball. And there's people like me who are going to fight for those who are undocumented. There's people like you who are going to fight for the undocumented, because I have a business, I have a nonprofit, we work in the same area in Houston, so we know that this is not just going to be a fight that.
This lady is a true Republican. She just said the immigration lawyers are about to ball. She's in it for the money. She is going to vote for Donald Trump to deport people, so they have to come to her and give her money to stay in the nation. That is what I just heard. That is crazy, but that's what capitalism does.
That's just going to go and happen, and these people are going to get deported. No, it's not.
All
People
right.
like myself who
We'll
are
be
proud.
right back. We'll let
do
Christina finish her point after we come back. Stay with us here on The Factor Uncensored. We'll continue this conversation. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Our guests are here. Christina, finish your point.
I'm just going to say this. Immigration lawyers are about to ball because there is going to be a big fight. There's a big fight that's going to happen, and it's going to be to keep people here who are supposed to be here. If you're illegal and you're doing things that are against the law, you better be afraid. But people like myself, people like Cesar, we are going to help fight and make sure that the right people stay here, DACA stays here. It's still a fight for us, for our people.
Is that contradictory to the way you voted, though?
It's not contradictory, because it's just his opinion. What he wants, what he feels is right, is not always right. Just because you have a title doesn't make you smart. Just because you went to a certain school doesn't mean that you come from the best background. There's just people who just think a certain way, and there's people like us that have to show you that's not always the right way.
The problem is he stacked the courts, right? So he literally stacked the courts with people who believe exactly like him, and they're sycophants. So like somebody like Cesar can be sued and they can win when they have a fair shot, but then the AG is going to go appeal it, and it's going to go up to the Republican Supreme Court. And so what's going to end up happening is, you have people here that are here like they're supposed to be here, but Trump's Supreme Court, as a person who's been a lawyer for 29 years, one thing that was established in this country is that once they establish like a law, that's it. Trump's Supreme Court has been activist, and they've changed laws, and so DACA should be here, but it's gonna be gone, right? It's gonna be gone, and I think that it's going to be really.
We don't know that. We don't know that for
yes,
sure.
We do.
We don't. We don't know for sure.
I wish she would have said some of the laws that the Democrats or that the Republicans changed, right? Or don't. I hate when they just say stuff but don't give details. Details are important.
It's
Almost
going
done
Yeah,
down.
since
Obama
Christmas
was
Day.
the
Okay.
number one to
Prayers and
deport
prayers with
people,
Trump.
Let's
and
hear
it wasn't
from
even
George
Trump.
really quick. Go ahead, George.
You know what?
Trump thinks that Hispanics and Puerto Ricans are trash.
No, that wasn't him who said that. That
Yeah,
was
it
one of
was.
his representatives.
No,
Nope, go back and watch that.
exactly.
But it wasn't him,
if my
and it doesn't
staffer
even
says
matter.
something-
So
if
somebody
my
else said
staffer
it, but it
says
wasn't
something,
him.
And he's my staffer, and
Well,
he says something offensive to somebody
it
else.
wasn't
That's
him.
not going to be my staffer.
Not every-
Okay.
Let
All
me
right,
just
George,
say
go
this.
ahead.
Let me just say this. Look, Latinos are naturally conservative. Whether you like it or not, it's very true. Naturally conservative. We value family values, religion. That's what we value. You know.
I think that's about everybody,
That's
George.
everybody. That's us too.
well,
That's us too.
that aligns more with the Republican side of
And
things, right?
Democrats.
No, they're just
The Democrats haven't done anything in the past 4 years.
So
Let's talk economy.
let me finish with
Okay,
this. Let me
all right.
finish with this. You know, I believe it was in 1982, Ronald Reagan said that Latinos are conservative, they just don't know yet. Well, now it's 2024, and they know it. We know it. The world knows it. America knows it.
All right,
We
go ahead,
wanted to vote.
Cesar.
Well, I'm here to change the world, so we're going to make Latinos a lot more progressive.
And I'm
but
right there with you,
it's,
too,
It's
so-
important to point out that we talk a lot about economics, voting for the economy. Wait till you start mass deporting people, and people start leaving
already started-
into different
started with the
places,
Obama.
and
It
and
started
people
with the
started leaving
Obama.
like places
It
like
has
they did
already
in Florida,
started, and it
and a
started.
burger
It
started
started with
costing
the Obama. What does that
$52,
mean?
$26, whatever. An iPhone's going to cost $300 more. There's a lot of things that are coming, and then people are going to say, "Oh, we messed up.
And
we
it
don't
had
want to
hap-
be
it
in the
was
field
happening
picking
during the
people."
Important
past
people to-
4 years.
But it's
until
funny,
the election right
but
now.
it's really funny.
And it was all with the
that Ronald
Democrats
Reagan talked
in
about
the
trickle down
House.
economics, and economics didn't trickle down. So he's like the great white hope for people that want to be super white.
The
And I'm
economics
telling
didn't
you
even
that it
make
does
sense
not trickle
whenever
down
Biden
to
was
the
in the
people that are on
administration. Everything
welfare.
went up.
And let me be clear.
Everything
if
went
you
up.
are fortunate enough to not be deported, we ain't gonna have no public school.
She want to go all the way back to Reagan. Well, I mean, Biden is the writer of the crime bill. The Democrats did pass it. Like, there's no good choice. Democrats are bad. Republicans are bad. If you never watched it, go watch the Jones Plantation on YouTube, or look up the U.S. duopoly is older than you think.
School system. How your kids gonna get educated?
All right, you got the last 10 seconds, Christina.
The American Academy, that's going to be online, and that's where people are going to be able to get a free education.
Not everybody
And
has
so,
internet
you know
or
what?
Not
We
every
need to really know where this money is going, because some of this money is going to places that it shouldn't be going, into pockets that it shouldn't be going. So, you know what? We do need a Department of Efficiency, and I'm glad that that is being set.
I mean,
With
And
Elon,
we're-
the
it was
billionaire
brought by
Musk.
Musk.
Thank you all
Elon,
for
the
joining us here on The
billionaire
Factor
Musk, who has
Uncensored.
transformed
I like videos like that. I like to hear both sides of different topics and just see what people are doing. That's a little more respectful. I like when they're more respectful than a lot of times like on CNN. Like Joy over here has been going crazy. AOC and them been going crazy. But that's it for this video, and I'll see you on the next.